So the haymaker, David Haye, outpoints Joe Fournier over 8 2-minute rounds. There really isn't that much to talk about this fight, if you can even call it a fight. It's a glorified sparring session between two friends. But to give you an overview, David Haye really just went through the motions. It looked fairly good doing so. He looked fluent. His movement looked sturdy. His boxing was kind of nice at times. He was letting his shots flow in. And head movement was good. Like, I can't complain. But typically people look good. They look better. They look their best in sparring sessions, which, as I say, this is what it was. A sparring session between two friends where they get paid a lot of money. Since overcoming the stern opposition of Joe Fournier, David Haye has called out Tyson Fury. And now that's why I'm doing a video on this, because I think that there's more to this little event than meets the eye. I think David Haye is at least half considering coming back. And I believe that because of that, this is like his self-scouting mission. It's a gauge of whether does he have enough to actually come back and endure a training camp. And that might seem far-fetched to a few of the listeners, but I think like David Haye was a celebrity in the UK for a long time. He was a household name. He was on all kinds of talk shows on mainstream channels and all that stuff. So David Haye loves that. He loves being a celebrity. And he loves being a fighter, a boxer. You don't get as far as David Haye did get by not loving boxing. So that's a given. But he loves the two. And I don't think that love has ever left him. And I think him being a promoter, which he has done for a few years now, since he retired in 2018, I say retired again in 2018, he's been primarily functioning as a promoter / manager, bringing fighters along. And I don't think that is satisfying enough. I think that he doesn't get enough stardom from it, enough celebrity status, and he's not the one fighting. So there's an itch there to both be a celebrity and a fighter. And this kind of thing, it satisfies that craving that he has, because he gets to have a little move around in the ring against someone who's not too dangerous, get paid a handsome amount, I imagine, in the process, and also be on like a kind of pay-per-view platform of sorts with a lot of media surrounding it. And so I think this is really David Haye's dream come true. But because David Haye is a competitor, and he was a fierce competitor, this is someone who trained like a demon. Like, look at David Haye's face when he trains. Look at his face when he fights. He's grimacing because he's so intense. He's so intensely competitive, and that never truly leaves you. It might get worn down, it might fade over the years, but I don't think it ever leaves you. And he's calling out David Haye. David Haye's calling out Tyson Fury now. I think there's a degree of seriousness from David Haye, because for my money, there's a lot of parallels between this little development now and back when he made his comeback in 2016. Because back in 2016, he came back against those two jokers, those two road sweepers in Mark Damori and Arnold Jurjai in the beginning of 2016. Just some money spinners, but also they were gauges of, can David Haye get through a training camp? Can he at least make his way to the ring and bowl over some street cleaner, as I say? He could. Okay, I'm able to get through these two pies. This is David Haye now. So can I take on like a step up? Someone who will offer me a decent amount if I fight them, but also can they springboard me into the bigger names? And that's what Tony Bellew was supposed to be for David Haye. He was supposed to be a tune-up fight and a good name to sell to the public on a pay-per-view. It turned out to be a good name to sell to the public on a pay-per-view, but David Haye was so far gone that the Tony Bellew fights turned into their own saga, because the first fight was this massive shock. Tony Bellew actually beat David Haye. Okay, we have to do the rematch now. Can David Haye now overcome Tony Bellew? Can his body hold up to the Tony Bellew second fight? And it couldn't. And as I say, the Tony Bellew fights went down as their own saga. And David Haye never got to take on Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, so on and so forth. But now, I see this as being exactly the same thing, where David Haye is trying to find out, do I still have it? Can I have one last go? And in the meantime, take on someone in Joe Fournier who isn't going to pose much of a threat and is going to put forth a decent amount of money if we're fighting on Triller. And so, as I say, I think David Haye is seriously, at least half seriously, considering it, because he just yearns to be a celebrity, be a fighter, be immersed in the culture of both. And yeah, I think some people may not take any notice, and fair enough. Like that's down to you. But the way I interpret it, I think there's some serious consideration from David Haye there. And so, look, I don't want to see David Haye fight Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua, because I don't think he offers them any resistance at all. But that's what I think. And that's what probably you guys think as well. But that's not what David Haye thinks. And yeah, that's just my interpretation of this situation. As I say, the fight itself, if you want to call it that, there was nothing to write home about. Not competitive in the slightest. It was just a move around. David Haye, being the more accomplished fighter, the more experienced and capable, cruised to an 8-round decision victory. But yeah, I do believe there's more to this development than meets the eye. And I think a lot of it stems from David Haye's ego and his vanity and his desire to be a celebrity and be a top-level prize fighter, because he just can't shake off that desire. And being a promoter, being a manager, it's just not good enough. It doesn't offer him enough of what he's looking for. So let me know what you think in the comment section. If you want to discuss this development, if you can like the video, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.